Communion. I want to greet you all. I'm Mona Polacca, and I am on my mother's side. I come from the Havasupai people, the people of the blue-green water, from down at the bottom of the Grand Canyon in Arizona. And on my father's side, I come from the Hopi and Tewa of Pueblo nations in northern Arizona. Havasupai means the people of the blue-green water. And so all my life, my mother would say, that this water is powerful, and it gives you life, but it can take life too. She would say that it's powerful. You have to honor it. You have to respect it, and it's okay to get in it and swim in it and play in it, but you don't just walk up to a body of water and jump into it. You have to go to it and, put your fingers in it, touch it, introduce yourself to it, she said. And you introduce yourself to it, you feel it, and you observe what's around it, plant life, the animal life, the ones that live in the water. You observe that. When you introduce yourself to it, you're kind of like sharing your intention of what you are there with the water for. I'm coming in. I'm going to swim, enjoy. I'm going to take some of this water. You have that intention, so you come to it that way. That's the way she told me. And she said, everything in that water are your relatives, though, that live in there. Those are your relatives. We're related to them, she'd say. And I never questioned it. I just, accepted it. That's what she told me. And so she would also say, we have to be careful what we do with it. We have to be careful what we put into it. We have to be careful, even when you're around it, to be kind and be respectful. Be respectful of it. It hears you, it feels you, it sees you. Growing up along the Colorado River, they would, during the summertime, we would go to the river and spend all day out there by the riverside, and they take food. Families, whole groups of families would go there. We'd have like a whole day cooking, and the parents cooking, kids playing in the water, all that. So we were always close to the water. That's one thing I learned about or understand now, is that much of the teaching, it's not like they had us sit down and they talked to us about it. It was in the connection, or in the activity of how we were taught, and the moments of teaching were done by when it was appropriate, where we could visual, using all of your senses to know what it is, to see it, feel it, hear it, all that, in order to really have an understanding about it. And so it's like, okay, so like making bread, making dough. When we're little, my mom might be making dough, and then when she finishes making we watch her make it, and then what she does is she'll give us a little piece of the dough, and so then we, feel it with our fingers, and then we watch her, then she shows us either we're going to make balls to make yeast bread, or we're going to make tortillas, or fry bread. Do something with that dough. She would give us a piece of dough, and we'd make little tiny tortillas, you know. And so we got to experience that, We realized she would say something like, "Don't touch that, it's hot." I know myself, she said, "Don't touch that, that's hot." What do? I touch it. And I got hot, I got burned. And she goes, Hanukkah, good, do it again, it's gonna burn you again. I learned, So, so those were some of the experiences, I had in growing up about how to learn about these things and about the water. She would tell me we live in a very delicate balance. It's a very delicate balance that we live in. And she would describe that to me by Havasupai, which is down at the bottom of the Grand Canyon, where the Havasupai people live, where she was born and raised. And she would say, it's a very delicate balance. We have to take care of our water. We depend on the water for our gardens, for our animals, and our food and drinking water, all that. We depend on it. It's a balance you have to maintain. The water is there, but then you have to maintain the balance in caring for it as it cares for you. Same thing with all of the earth in the canyon. You have to maintain a balance there. It provides for you, but you have to take care of it and maintain a balance. You can't take more than you need. You have to maintain a balance. And same thing like with the plants, the medicines, or the plants that we used for food. You have to go ahead and leave some for the animals. You have to make sure there's water for the animals to drink. Things like that. And it's a delicate balance. In the canyon, she would show me the balance that was important, because above the village are two spiral rocks, and they call them the prince and the princess, and they watch over the village, and they're standing there, and again with a delicate balance. If we do things that are that would disturb the earth, that could create a vibration, those guardians could fall down. And we don't want to destroy our guardian spirits. We have to maintain that balance. We can't let disturbance, occur to our mother, the earth. We can't shake, you can't just, pound into her. You can't be digging and creating, a disturbance that will, disturb that balance of those pillars of stone. And so that's how we, that was that teaching about, besides the water, all of this creation that, we call our foundation of life. We have to take care of it. We keep it in balance. It's widely known that about maybe 80 to 90% of the Earth's biodiversity is under the care of Indigenous people. And that's part of what we call our original instructions to take care of it. And so fortunately we still have those places, that are under the care of Indigenous people, but it's a constant struggle to preserve and protect it. And it's a constant struggle, to for Western society to I don't know if the word is understand, or to be aware about that connection of them to life. But we have consistently, Indigenous people have consistently spoken out, being messengers, and as I heard it, being the gentle reminders, being the reminders to the ones who have forgotten that there's this instruction that we are to preserve and maintain, protect the biodiversity that gives us life. Not just us, but all of other life forms, that rely. It's that balance. It's a balance. I'm hopeful. And I don't. I know there are some places that may be almost completely destroyed, but we, because we believe in the balance again, when we still continue to do the ceremonies and make our offerings and acknowledge that these non-human life forms are part of our life in that way, then it's like that exchange again. It's like reciprocity. We give, we pray, we offer, we sing, we dance, we do all those things. And in return, these other life forms also will flourish. Again, it's balance. And so we continue to do that. And there may have been some of the ceremonies that had been practiced that with colonization they may have been stopped, but they're reviving them. They're coming back, and I'm always filled with joy when I see that there are some of the animal life and plant life that were considered extinct are all of a sudden showing up again. And that's what, and that's the same thing with the ceremonies. The ceremonies that had, maybe the better word would be to went to sleep. But now they're coming back. Now they're being revived. There's always someone who has that memory that knows this is how it was done. Just like the work that I do with the water. based on what my mother told me, based on what the her grandma told her, and the Havasupai people have practiced honoring the water. So I picked it up, and I've done, continue to do the work, and have extended the work beyond the ceremony into being a voice, or to being the way my mother told me was. She said, help the people. You know what to say. You know who to talk to. You know what to do. Help the people. And when she told me that, I said, okay, I will. And so that's kind of been my calling. And no, I can't turn my back on it. That was the other thing she told me. You can't turn your back on that water. That's what she told me. You can't turn your back on it. Part of the respect you show is you're always open to it, embracing it, opening your arms, opening your life, opening your heart, mind, body, spirit to the gift of this life, gift of this water, gift of the air, gift of this daylight, the sun, and Mother Earth, all together, and honoring it. It loves you, you love it, like that, just like your relationships with your family, having that love. So, yeah, that's my relationship with the water.